Right, hello everyone. Thank you very much for coming along to this seminar today. I'm from accessplanit. I'm Andrew. I'll introduce myself and our company in just a moment, but we're lucky to have a couple of our clients with us today. So thank you sort of up front to Joe here and Stephen. Joe's from University of the Arts, Stephen from a company called Delta KN. They'll talk a bit more about what they do and how they use our systems in just a moment. But as I say, just a quick introduction from me. So I'm Andrew Flook, Head of Sales at accessplanit. Okay. Interesting slide this, sort of leading into a little bit about us, because I've got some interesting stats from a customer survey we did last year across our customer base. I'll just find them here. Got them next to Stephen. Yeah, 76% of our customers believe that the systems that we give them a competitive advantage, which is quite interesting, and 80% would recommend us to an industry peer. So I think today we'll have a look at these case studies, and it'll be good to obviously for you to see how some of our clients are implementing and using our systems. Okay, so a very, very brief background from me. We are a UK-based software company. We were established in 2001. And basically what we do is we provide training management software. So typically, there's sort of two main areas. We provide systems to commercial training providers. So that could be any company who sells training. And also it tends to be in-house training departments. At its core, both systems are basically aimed with cutting down, automating processes. So they reduce a huge amount of admin that training companies, training departments find. Okay. We're very customer focused, and we tend to work in a sort of partnership with our clients. So when we take a customer on, well, we don't really like calling them customers. We would much rather go with partners. When we take them on, we like to work together, and with a lot of our partners, we then start developing the system alongside them and to their needs. So hopefully these case studies will give you a good example of that. So what we'll do, I'll be handing over to Joe first of all. Okay. What we'll do, we'll have Joe talk a bit more about what they do, then Stephen up, and then at the end we'll have a Q&A. We are at stand 67, which is just over that away. So afterwards, after we finish, if you want to come over to the stand, please do. Or if you want to, we can hang around for a little while anyway. So if you want to talk to us afterwards, we'll be here to talk to. But on that note, I'll hand over then to Joe.
Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, got my microphone here. Okay, I'm Jo White, and I'm Marketing Manager Projects for our commercial arm of the University of the Arts London. For those of you who don't know us, we comprise of 6 colleges, some quite well known. They are art and design colleges, and together we are Europe's largest art and design university. I work for London ArtsCom, which is a commercial arm of the university, and our main objective is to generate income, the profits going back into the university to fund much needed equipment and facilities in our colleges. We've been trading for over 15 years now, and we are successful. We run our short courses, tailor-made training, study abroad programs, all using the facilities when the full-time students don't use the classrooms and facilities, and any profit that we make goes back into the colleges. We have 4 business units across the 6 colleges, so I just get my notes. We have 60 members of staff. We run over 1,700 courses per year, and we welcome over 1,000 students per year. Last year we made a pre-tax profit of 3 million, all going back into the colleges. So the business case, I was one of the lucky members in 2003 to write a paper saying that we needed an automated payment service on our website, and we needed a CRM. Fast forward 5 years of debating and working out what the best route to go down, we managed to get a proper business case together, and by this point we realised that we needed elements of CRM, but primarily we needed an automated payment system on our website, and we needed a course management system. We have 4 business units that are actually competitors with each other, which sounds weird because we're all one company, but they have their own budgets, they have their own targets. So they'd worked very independently of each other. So one of the biggest challenges was working out how we could have one database, use that effectively for London ArtsCom, but still keep, I suppose, Chinese walls so they didn't see each other's data. So we had rules. We wanted one central database. Once a customer had booked on, had registered, they belonged to the database. Once they'd booked a course, then they belonged to that college. And the business units couldn't see each other's data. They could see all the customers, but they couldn't see financial data, or they couldn't see any promotional data. So the challenges with this project, we had to link with our finance package, which is Aggresso, which a lot of the universities use. Each business unit had a very different way of working. They had a series of Excel spreadsheets, Access databases, and FileMaker, and we had to work out a way of unpicking those to get one common business stream. As I mentioned before, they were competitors, so they're very guarded. We hadn't ever broached the subject of sharing data before, and I was the lucky person to have to chair those meetings, and it was quite stressful. And there was an apprehension of change. People were scared that this was going to be completely automated, so there was no need for jobs anymore. So there's a lot of kind of managing people's expectations on that. And we had to work out, did we have something off the shelf, or did we have a bespoke product just for us? So our relationship with AccessPlan, at the time when we were tendering for this, there wasn't actually a lot on the market. I don't know if that's changed now, but what AccessPlan is quite a unique product. And as soon as I met the guys, I realised that it was what we needed. We needed, at the time, they were much smaller than they are now, and we were kind of treading into really unmarked territory in the university, and we needed someone to be really flexible with us. We needed a bit of patience. Maybe things would change along the line. We knew what we wanted, but when we got into it, we didn't know exactly what was going to happen. And their kind of can-do approach, very friendly, very personal. We did feel like their partner made us go for them. So this was in 2009. It took probably just less than a year to go live because it was such a huge project. And the return on investment, I mean, instantly. It was the manual administration. We had, what to the customer who books the short courses would think, we had an automated online booking system, but we didn't. It was heavily manual in terms of the administration. 80% of our bookings come online. That was automated straight away. We had a payment gateway linked into Course Manager, so all 80% of our payments were automatically processed. So staff suddenly had time to focus on what they should be doing, and that was marketing, answering inquiries, trying to get new customers. I've got a nice example of when we went live November 2009, and that January, our biggest business unit, Central St Martin's, came in and said, we don't know what to do. We're usually processing hundreds of bookings over Christmas, and there's nothing to do, which made me think, yeah, we've done it. The project was a success. Obviously now their time's filled and they're complaining that they want more time saved. But at January 2010, it was a marked difference. Since we launched in 2009, the business has continued to grow, although obviously it's challenging times for businesses. After the first year with Course Manager, our profits increased by an impressive 30% on the year before. So I think that's an indicator of actually how huge it was for us. So development, I mean, we launched 2009, and we've had lots of development since then. Partly because we're a fast-growing business, and we launch new products that need maybe tweaks to the system. Some of the early development was the most exciting, and that was it sounds very simple, but we created a module where if someone was on a course and changed their mind, we've got a transfer function. With a click of a button, we can transfer from one course to another. All the financials are sorted in the wizard, and the customer knows if they owe us money or they're credited money, and it's all simple. That process would have taken about 5 days before Course Manager was implemented. We have recently completed a project which took a long time, only from our end. AccessPlan were very patient with us, where we have created a new, this is our website, so this isn't Course Manager, this is our website. We are short courses. And these are our short course pages. So all the information in the coloured box, that is pulling through from Course Manager, which means we don't have to rely on our content management system for our website so much. This is a live feed, and because we have so many courses that are changing all the time versus the degree programs, which are pretty static, we needed this quick live feed. So if we've got a change on the tutor or the course description, that's instant. The dates, again, if a date changes, that's pulled through. We have now, we completely changed the way that we book. Before November last year, we had a book now. So if someone found a course, they would just book now, they had to register, they had to pay, and then they had to book another course if they wanted to do two. Now they can build up their wish list, adding to basket, so they can browse across the colleges, adding to basket, and then they can register and commit. So very much like we're mirroring an Amazon or a retail site. So this was a huge development for us, and it took, it took nearly 18 months to get to this, which is longer than the go live, which is ridiculous. But again, Access Plan were patient. They understood our challenges, and always there, a shoulder to cry on from me. At the back end, this is our Course Manager system back end. This is where we update our course description and our materials lists. It's easy to navigate. I mean, we have thousands of courses in ours, and it's still very easy to navigate around and find what you're looking for. And yeah, this is just the side view. We have our reports in there. We save our reports for our financials. We have all our invoices. I could talk for hours about its possibilities and what we've got in there, but I just want to share with you the development that we've just done that has made a huge amount of difference to us. And what we've realised now is that with this add to basket, people are encouraged to book more than one course, obviously, because it's so easy, book their friend on. So we have seen an increase in multiple bookings. I think that was it. I've skipped over loads. If you want to ask me questions, I'll be here at the end, but I'll pass over to Steve now. Yeah.
Just a very quick introduction. My name is Steve Wilson. I head up an organisation called Delta KN. We're a healthcare learning agency, so we specialise in providing services to clients in the pharmaceutical, medical device and other allied industries. So let me just start by, before we get into this, just explaining a little bit about what we do and why I'm talking here today. Firstly, main part of our business is sort of two strands. One is providing services around insight for our clients to identify the actual specific needs of audiences for training and learning, the identification of knowledge gaps, gaps in confidence, etc. And then we design programs. Most of the work we do is bespoke work for clients, pharma companies. Second thread of what we do is the development of content. So we have a team of writers and structural designers and programmers, etc. We actually develop content, and in the last few years we've gone further now, a sort of fuller holistic approach, and now we deliver the content for our clients through to the end learners, and that's where we've actually partnered with accessplanit, and we're using some of their software in the form of the learning management system. So that's what I'm going to talk about next, is the background to that, and what we achieved and what the key learnings have been from that experience. As we've started to realise over the last 2 or 3 years, for us as a provider of e-learning content, I mean, that's not all we do, but it's a big part of what we do. Effectively, it's become essential for us to actually be able to offer an extended service that extends beyond content itself, particularly for formal and structured learning for our clients. So for us, having an LMS and the capability to deliver content and provide that training experience is extremely important. So most of our clients increasingly are looking for much more than us to simply hand over the actual content itself or training assets, and looking for bright ideas for delivery. We first met accessplanit about 2 years ago, and we got into discussions, and we were able to work with them to actually develop and adapt their LMS software so it's suitable for our needs and our client base. So that's why we're here today to talk about that. So we use the software, the LMS system, internally as a training portal within our business, and we also use it externally for clients, and for some clients it's sort of installed on their systems. So what this means for us is that we can now influence the learning experience right from the ideas generation, understanding the needs of an audience, and then all the way through to actually deliver the content through to the end learner and beyond that, because then we can, and it's very, very important for our markets, we can then absorb information back from the learner and use that data to then inform the development of further content, particularly as part of an ongoing program of development. So it's extremely important. The example here is a professional medical education program that is delivered UK-wide for nursing staff with a medical device company sponsoring the initiative. And the LMS is, having flexible, reliable software has been a very important part of this project. So the previous program was a sort of nationwide e-learning initiative, and this example here is content also for UK staff, but this is a much more bespoke, tailored program that's been developed. And here we're talking about delivering content in a very precise way to, in this instance, NHS trust staff. That's so with content like this, having a reliable platform is also a very important aspect for us. This screen here, it's not the end, it's about the middle, but summarising what we've got from working with accessplanit, and really there's a list there, but for us really it's two things. One is the flexibility that it's afforded us as an organisation. So we've been able to adapt the platform and the system so that we've been able to make, albeit relatively minor modifications to the functionality, which has been important for our markets. The other aspect that we'll come into on the back end of the presentation is the ability to customize the platform and marry up the platform with other sort of brands and design requirements for our clients. We'll also talk about the localization. Many of our clients are global organizations, global pharmaceutical companies, and localization is a must-have feature. So we can show you some examples of that very shortly. So I know you can't see the image here particularly well, particularly at the back, but basically the point here is that sometimes for us an LMS is good when it doesn't actually look like an LMS. So often here we're adapting the look and feel. For some of our users, they're not potentially frequent users of the software. They may only visit, particularly for some of the NHS training, they may be just ad hoc users. So we've got to use the platform to motivate the learner to access content, make it very simple, and at the same time be able to meet the requirements of clients for seamless blending in of design assets and branding requirements. So we can achieve that with the system we have. And then we mentioned earlier about the nature of some of the clients in international markets. So we'll have a look at this a bit closer. But one of our clients here operates globally, and we've been providing training support across many markets. And localization is a critical aspect of this to make this successful. We tried previously, implementing English language content into non-English speaking markets with limited, as you would imagine. So with the system here, we've been able to actually modify the learner experience and actually adapt the homepage and the website here. So this is simplified Chinese as it would appear in the Taiwanese market for this client. That's a very, very important aspect that we've been able to achieve here. And of course, there's a lot of complexity in being able to do this, but we have found that the system itself has a very neat feature that's enabled very quick and simple localization of the on-screen content to a very, very high level, which is very useful. So the learner can select, click on a flag, and can change the on-screen content. So which is excellent. If only it was that easy to actually localize the e-learning content itself, that would make our life a lot easier. But unfortunately, that's an entirely different story. So, but if accessplanit could help with that, that'd be very good. But so that's my section over. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, for listening and taking part, and to accessplanit for inviting me to speak today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So thank you again to Steve there and to Joe. What we'll do, we'll hand over. Yeah, we've got a few minutes here, so we'll hand over to a Q&A now. What I'll do just before I do that, if you want to come over at the end, we are running some webinars week beginning, it's the 11th of February, and it'll be 12 o'clock till 12:30 every day that week. We've got some different topics in there. I think I've got a list here to hand. There's some topics very much linked to the sort of things we've talked about today. So there's one about implementing online booking, sort of like Joe said. And there's one on implementing e-learning as well, sort of more akin to what Stephen's talked about. So there's a few of those. If you want to come over, I'll give you a list of them all. There's also information packs on your seat. But what I'll do, again, just a quick thank you. So thank you again to Stephen and Joe for their time today and coming to help. And happy to hand over to questions. If you don't want to raise your hand and ask a question, then no problem, just come over afterwards. But again, thank you very much for listening. Yes. Is this? Oh, yeah. This one for Steve. I can't hear myself think. How you doing?
Oh, hi, this is directed to Joe and Steve, really. How receptive or were accessplanit when you had sort of new developments or ideas that you needed to build into what you currently sort of have from them?
Oh, you've got a mic.
Well, I'll just quickly go first. From my point of view, they were very receptive. We have to be realistic in terms of what we were asking for. But I think if we're able to define some of the key aspects, they were very receptive. And we're working very much in partnership. So we were very happy with the service that we had and we received from them on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it was one of the reasons why we were very impressed with accessplanit at the start. And it's a process that we've, at the university, got a lot better with. But yeah, I mean, our process at the moment is that we'll have a workshop, we'll talk through our ideas, we'll spec it up, then they'll go through it with their analysts will go through it back to us for sign-off. So it was always good, but now I think we've got to a very good system. Things always will go wrong and you'll forget things, and that's where I think their strengths are, because they cope with that and they manage with that very well. To me anyway, I'm sure at the office they're slagging me off, but yeah, no, it's a really easy process.
Any questions, anyone? No, in that case, I will hang around here, as I've said, but thank you all again for attending, so thank you very much, everyone.